Google's Diversity Initiative. In this presentation, I'll go over a brief history of Google, look at the diversity within Google, we'll introduce my proposed diversity initiative, look at 3 cognitive lenses, then I'll discuss my diversity initiative in further detail. We'll look at personal identities, communication strategy, and finish with the benefits and challenges of this initiative. Google was founded with the mission to organize the world's information in a way that makes it accessible and useful to all users. The company was founded in 1996 by Larry Page and Sergey Brin as part of a research project at Stanford University. Created the technology backrub, which searched for relevant articles based on incoming links. The Google name was registered in 1997, and the company was incorporated in 1998. That same year, Google was the search engine of choice, and by May 1999, the company had 11 employees. In 2000, the first 10 languages of Google were released, and in 2001, the product Google Images was released, followed by Gmail in 2004. By March 2004, the company had more than 800 employees, and Google's Maps debuted in 2005. That same year, many of Google's services were adapted for mobile use. In 2006, Google acquired YouTube, and in 2007, Google was listed as the #1 company as Fortune's best company to work for. And in 2011, the founder Larry Page became CEO. The chart here shows the overall gender diversity within Google. As you can see, men make up the majority at 70%, while female only make up 30% of the workforce. This pattern is consistent throughout the technology jobs, non-technology jobs, and leadership positions. Overall ethnicity diversity is dominated by whites at 61%, followed by Asians at 30%. Those of 2 or more races, Hispanics and Blacks, make up small portions of the Google workforce. Again, this pattern is consistent throughout technology jobs, non-technology jobs, and leadership positions. Over the years, Google has not evolved or diversified. Both Google and the technology industry have been characterized by white males. My proposed initiative to fix this problem includes personalizing Google's services and structures, decreasing the presence of unconscious bias, and expanding hiring process to attract women and minorities. The first cognitive lens we'll look at today is sociology, which addresses the gender diversity within Google. Currently, Google offers scholarships to females pursuing a degree in computer sciences, and has founded the program Made with Code, which is targeted at young girls and illustrates the power code gives them to create, and encourages interest among these girls to pursue computer sciences. Google has also increased access to computer science in high schools. Despite these initiatives, Google still lacks social diversity. In order to increase diversity in this area, Google needs to alter the accepted assumptions of female workers. Currently, Google idealizes their female employees to be obsessive workers who take care of their family for a few hours at night and then log on after everyone goes to bed and continue to work until the job is done. To many people, this expectation is not attractive and drives away many potential female employees. The second cognitive lens, geography, deals with the ethnicity diversity within Google. Currently, Google offers internships and scholarships to minority students pursuing computer sciences, and they have increased access to computer science around the world. Despite these, Google still lacks ethnical diversity. In order to increase diversity in this area, Google needs to expand its hiring process to include minority publications, and to include ads in minority publications such as Emerge, The Advocate, and Hispanic Times. The third cognitive lens is the psychology lens, which addresses the behavioral and structural diversity within Google. Currently, Google offers workshops to employees to overcome unconscious bias. They have established a culture of inclusion where everybody is heard and supported, and they have tailored benefits to different minority groups, including caregiver leave and lesbian, gay, bisexual, and transgender policies. This is the root of Google's diversity issue. Without diversity in this area, all other diversity efforts will be limited. In order to increase diversity here, Google needs to personalize both their services and their structures. In May 2005, Google offered a personalized homepage to its users. However, this feature was discontinued in November of 2013. Without personalized homepages, Google offers the same service to all users regardless of needs or wants. The first part of my diversity initiative is personalization. This includes personalizing services, adding services that are directed at moms, Hispanics, education in developing countries. The development of these products are similar to that of business and mobile applications, but they are targeted at different consumer groups based on their unique needs and desires. It also includes direct involvement with their diversity initiative. IBM partnered with the New York City Public Schools to create P-Tech High School, which helps students graduate high school and complete a degree in computer technology. Then IBM offers students job at IBM. Google can follow this example by focusing on minority groups such as women, Hispanics, Blacks, Asians, specializing products and their hiring process in order to be directly involved with these minority groups. Google also needs to steer away from their stereotypes that they have established and include a wider range of thought and people, which will lead to diversity in operations and thus in products. Finally, they need to decrease unconscious bias, which is the accepted assumption that guides actions and decisions, even unconsciously. The more Google's employees are aware of the role unconscious bias plays in their decisions, the more they make an effort to confront biases, and the greater chance they have of overcoming hidden preferences and the more room there is for diversity. Recently, one of Google's new buildings had all the conference rooms named after scientists. It was noticed that these scientists' names were all male, and thus they would change some to female names. And this is a start to the increase in diversity at Google. The second part of my initiative is the hiring process. They need to expand ads to be included in minority publications. They design a hiring initiative that attracts minority applications. And they need to establish a hiring program that provides incentives for managers to hire more women and minorities. Among increasing diversity, it is important to maintain personal identity. By changing the accepted assumption of Google's female workers, they will support more than one type of woman and it will create more room for talent, innovation, and diversity. Diversifying their hiring structure will include more ways of thoughts and methods. And by establishing a structure of diversity, Google will accept more than one way of doing things, which has the potential to increase productivity, effectiveness, innovation, and ultimately profit and success. They can steer away from the stereotypical skeptical and scientifically white male opinion and make room for new ways of thought and new products. Personalized services will lead to a diverse skill needs within Google, which will encourage a diverse employee base to meet these needs, which will then better satisfy customers. By reaching out to minority groups through the hiring process, it will challenge the way Google thinks, the way the company is structured, and the way the company operates, and will expand Google's vision, mission, and strategy. The communication strategy is very important. It's important that Google explains the diversity goals to all employees, and that everyone understands the importance and the need for diversity, and that they can see the benefits that diversity will bring to them personally and to the company. Women and minority can act as spokespeople to bring awareness to this issue, as well as to provide highlights on the contributions of these groups to the company. Middle managers can connect executives to frontline employees to make sure everyone is on the same page and all concerns are being addressed. It is important to use different messages, different senders, and multiple communication channels to connect with as many employees as possible. I need to communicate all the time to make sure that this diversity initiative is at the forefront of all employees' minds. Diversity is a struggle for the technology industry in which Google operates and in the Silicon Valley in which Google resides, and overcoming deeply embedded unconscious bias will be difficult. But by addressing diversity and unconscious bias directly through communication, will reduce the effects of unconscious bias on decision-making. And using women and minority leaders will address bring awareness to the diversity issue and bring people's efforts together. This increased diversity will then help Google better serve its customers. Through this initiative, Google will gain a diverse employee base that is more representative of the world and better able to serve a growing consumer base, which will result in greater innovation and more talent. They will also have the opportunity to hire based on skill and cultural fit, not just race and gender. For the community, there will be better products that better meet the needs of the community and the consumer, and there will be more opportunities to pursue consumer sciences and work for Google. Diversity on this scale has never been done in the Google history or in the technology industry. Being one of the first ones to accomplish this type of diversity will establish a competitive advantage that is not easily copied. The challenge will be not making white male employees, who are currently the majority, feel like the minority. The company will need to support the diversity initiative within Google, even though it means change. The Google workforce will be more representative of the area in which they work, and more women and minority will be entered into this computer science field. William Sloan Coffin Jr. once said, "Diversity may be the hardest thing for society to live with, and perhaps the most dangerous thing for society to be without."